Good morning, this is Uma from A Sense of Uma. Thank you for joining me on the last week of my Wildlife Wonder Coffee and card. I've just been creating a selection of lovely cards with this stamp set and the Beauty of Earth papers to create some very gender neutral cards, one for nature lovers I would say. Just a note to say, next week the coffee and card will be turned into a crafty cuppa, which will be at 7 p.m. on a Tuesday. So should we get cracking? So this is my little kit. Sorry, I've got some drips there. This is my little kit. So I have a brown mat, white piece of card, and a few mountains that I cut with the Majestic Mountain dies. And you'll need your Beauty of the Earth papers that have the blue sky and the green, and all will become clear once I've finished. So first of all, we're going to create our scene. So I'm going to put my sky halfway down here, and don't worry about where everything meets because your mountains will cover it. That's going to be a bit of sky, and then for the bottom bit I'm going to put a bit of grass. This little grassy bit here. Now if you want, you can use a trimmer to trim around this or measure up perfectly. I'm just going to cut round like so. I tend to find is the longer cuts are straighter. Yeah, not perfect. Oh, I've got a bit of an edge here, so I'm going to snip that down. It's up to you how pedantic you feel about straight edges and so on. I can be pretty pedantic. What I found is I get really pedantic at the start and everything's got to be straight. When I'm nearly finished, I'm like, oh, it'll do, it's fine. So it's up to you how you want to lay your mountains on this split. You can go from dark to light or light to dark, or just use a mix. I'm going to do that. It's another card I went from dark to light, so you can have a look at that. This is my previous card that I've made. So it looks like the mounts are fading. This one I'm going to go dark first. I'm going to leave a bit of space in my blue sky because that's where I'm going to put my sentiment. this one, I think I'm saying, well, that's almost mirroring, isn't it, there? Up there. And then a bit of trimming again. Shift this up a little bit just to hide a bit of a gap. I think that overall that looks fine. And now for a bit of stamping. I'm going to stamp the bear, the big bear, and the owl. Get them ready for a bit of fussy cutting to create my scene. The owl, another bit of fussy cutting here. Oh, look at that lovely, lovely owl. And now for this one, I'm going to stamp To a Great Guy. And for this option, I'm going to be doing a bit of fussy cutting around this sentiment and then gluing it on. And you'll see what I mean. Don't put away your ink pad just yet. I'm going to use these seam stamps, this little edgy ground. Oh, hope you can see it. Try not to drop it. I've already inked up, and a little sort of, I don't know what to call it, reeds? Would you say it's reeds? To create a bit of, I'm going to stamp it off just so it's just like a little bit of extra detail on the ground. Right here. So the bear doesn't look like it's floating. I'm going to stamp again. Brilliant. I've got a bit of a texture gran, and then a little bit on these flowers. Now these ended up having a little bit of an inky shadow. There we go, they're fine there. Oh, just stamp wherever you feel it's needed, creating like a little bit of a bush here. Those are ready. I'm not going to use any linen thread on this one. I feel that it's okay without it. Do a bit of mounting right here. Get nice and straight. Yep, that's straight to me. So that'll be mounted onto here. I'm going to do right now. Oh my goodness, I feel like I've done a lot of talking. Sure that's central. I'm going to have a bit of my peppermint tea. Going for the non-herbals now. Okay, now for a bit of fussy cutting. Let's go around my owl first. Create a bit of a border around the owl. Now, I'm not going to be too keen on the getting this bit bark right. Because the owl's going to sort of go on this corner, or maybe even here or here, and just look like it's slightly outside the frame. Maybe here. My favourite, the bear. What's your favourite, the bear, the wolf, or the owl? What do you think? Let's sort that off a bit. Sorry, my cat thinks it's starving. It isn't. It just wants the best food and the richest food, I think, sometimes. And my bear, I think, will look good just there. And for my sentiment, I'd be doing a bit of fussy cutting. Okay, you see on this card, I've stamped directly onto the paper. I just wanted to show you what it would look like if you just fussy cut out the sentiment. This one, I'm going to cut the words out, not individually, but in 3 parts. You could do the 2 and the 8 separate, but I'm not going to do that. Seems like too much fussy cutting that way. Guy. that also means you can have a bit of a play about where you'd like the words to go. You could stamp it again if you feel you wanted a bit more of a border out. I'm not going to be too strict on how close everything comes together. This in the brand new catalogue, there's going to be a new bundle that's fussy cuts around all the words, so you don't want to do this as long. I think I've done about 5 minutes of fussy cutting there. And now I can just have a bit of a play with where I want this to go. And now it looks a bit rough, but I think that's the charm of fussy cutting, that you can go a bit rough. And put my phrase down first. Very careful picking this up because it's going to get a bit gluey. That's probably about the straightest it'll go. To a put your glue on quite sparingly. Great. And then this, because it's got the little whites around it, can even get tucked behind a mountain or go on top of a mountain. I want to stand up just to make sure I'm stamping correct. So what a great guy. And now with this little owl, I'm going to trim it on my trimmer. Actually, I'm going to glue the bear down right here. I want the owl to sort of pop out a bit more, like it's out the frame. Might make my bear look a bit bumpy. Out at my owl, I'm going to trim on my trimmer. Oh, all my papers are getting so I kind of want my owl to pop off the page like so. So it just kind of looks like he's watching from afar. Kind of he's in the foreground of the picture, I'd say. So my bear's scrawled, and this is going to be my only dimensional part. Yeah, just wanted that little bird to be a bit out the way. Look, yeah, that's take 2 and take 1, my practice one. So hopefully you can see the effects of either stamping straight on, which creates like a subtle sentiment, and just cutting around onto white card, which creates that handmade feel. Yeah, so let me show you the cards we've made so far, and you can have that feeling that you've really achieved something. So I've actually managed to use all the different colours within the Beautyverse papers. And you've got this lovely wood timber with the tailor tags. Yeah, oh, they're so big they don't all fit on the screen. Might have to do a bit of overlapping. The blue one with the wolf, and this sort of Merry Merlot reddish one, and To a Great Guy. So yeah, we finished a bit early today. I think because it's my second go, I went super fast with that, didn't I? Didn't make as many mistakes as well because it's the second time round, but hey, and there's no first one I've done without the tying the linen thread round. So if you wanted to have a go with the linen thread, feel free. I just felt that it didn't need it. I may change my mind at some point. Yeah. So my name's The Sense of Humour. You can join me next week at 7 o'clock for my Flowering Tulips crafty cuppa at 7 p.m. at night. And I'll be doing a bit of a Zoom crafty chat afterwards as well. If you want to join me for that, if you need to give me an email. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, which is where I am now, Pinterest, and my blog www.asenseofhumour.com. So thank you for joining me, and I shall see you all later. Bye.